Hello everyone, welcome back to Project Clay. Today we have Amisha with us and we are very excited. Would you just like to quickly introduce yourself for our audience?
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Amisha Gulati. I am an evidence-informed poet, I'm an author, I am a research assistant, a part-time ghostwriter, and also a UK admissions mentor. And I'm an incoming master's student at the London School of Economics. I will be doing a master's in social and cultural psychology, and I've received a Jane Tata scholarship for that. And I'm excited to be here.
Same. Thank you so much for being here with us. Just London School of Economics is absolutely insane. One of the best universities in the world, and you got a J.N. Tata scholarship. Do you want to tell us, the audience, a little bit more about the J.N. Tata scholarship, the process in brief, and how you got it and how it can be beneficial for them?
Okay. So I remember applying exactly this time, I think sometime late January last year. And the JN Tata scholarship is basically a part loan and a part gift scholarship. So you get anything between 1 lakh to 10 lakhs in loan, which you have to repay after a couple of years, and the process is pretty easy. And you get a gift scholarship in your first semester if you perform well and if they feel that you deserve that based on merit. The Jane Tata Scholarship usually focuses on people who are well rounded, who not only focus on their academics but also have something in their extracurriculars, are passionate about community service, are passionate about multiple things alongside academics. And I can briefly tell you about the application process. Shall
Yes,
I?
that'll be great.
Okay. Yeah. So the first round of the application process is to write an SOP and to submit a couple of documents. I always tell my mentees, and I'll also say it here, that your master's SOP is not the same as your scholarship SOP. You cannot cut, copy, paste. You need to tailor your scholarship SOP to the scholarship organization. Like, for instance, the Chevening Scholarship focuses on people who are leaders. So when you're writing your Chevening essays, your Chevening scholarship SOPs, then talk about how have you implemented your own leadership skills in your life. But when you're writing about the Jane Tata scholarship SOP, then mention how are you integrating your academics and your extracurriculars. I can give you a personal example. I often integrate my passion for poetry and research. I write evidence informed poetry, which is I read research papers, and based on what I draw from them, I write poetry and I create art. So that's how I personally wrote in my SOP. But yeah, that's the first round. You have to submit your SOP and other documents. Your CV is also very important, which also should be tailored to the scholarship organization if possible. The second round is an aptitude test, wherein it's similar to how CAT or SAT or other competitive exams happen, but it's like a micro version of them. I think they were around 25 to 30 questions, if I'm not wrong. And they tested my logical reasoning, my qualitative aptitude, my linguistic abilities, my quantitative aptitude, and it was pretty easy. After that, there was an interview round wherein the one of the people from the admissions committee of the GN Tata body, along with a psychologist, interviewed me. So now it depends on your course. Let's say you want to do a master's in engineering, then maybe an engineer would interview you, or a professor in that department. Let's say if you want to do a master's in geography or any other field, then it depends. But it's usually a panel of two or three people, and one of them is almost always someone from the admissions or from the JN Data body. Yeah, I hope this answers your question.
Yeah.
So can you give us like some tips for the interview part? Like, should you like prepare for it? Do you need to like have like some general knowledge about the field or like general
Hmm.
awareness? Like, yes.
Okay. The first thing you need to do is you need to know what you have written in your application very well, like at the back of your hand. You need to read your CV thoroughly. You need to like look at your CV, think about what's the easiest question they can ask you and what's the most difficult question they can ask you. And from the easiest to the most difficult, try and answer those questions for yourself. And there's no right and wrong answer. They just want to know your experience, your journey. They just want to know, can you do you have that academic acumen to actually go to London or go to the UK, wherever you get an admission, and sustain and thrive as a student? Because let's say they place a bet on you, they give you money, but you don't have that acumen, or you aren't competent enough to actually thrive in London, then that money will go waste, right? Be a better scholar. So this is something a lot of people miss. You aren't just getting a scholarship, you aren't just getting money. You're also becoming a part of that place. You're becoming a part of that organization. So do I embody the qualities of a JN Tata scholar? All of these things are something that you should think through before an interview. And other than that, I don't think they'll ask you GK related questions, but they'll definitely ask you questions related to your field. So you should know, why do you want to do this master's? A common question is, why do you want to study in the UK and not in India? I mean, they could just say there are so many opportunities here in India, but why the UK? So my answer was, because my master's was is in masters in social and cultural psychology. And I can only truly understand the social and cultural context practically if I actually change my context and be in an international environment. So that was how I answered it. But it's subjective based on your degree. But those things should be clear. You should have clarity on your career goals. And other than that, just have a pleasant smile on your face. And even if you don't know any answer, you can just tell them that that is the reason why I'm going to London, so that I know more from here. Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great answer. And then at the start of this, when we were just having a word, one thing I got very excited about was Amisha saying that she cold emailed a lot of people. That is our philosophy here at Project Clay. I think all of us in the team have cold emailed at least 500 folks in the last like 3 days. So we understand that if you ask for an opportunity, you might just get it. So becoming a research assistant isn't easy at all, and you did it, while studying at DU at this college abroad, right? Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, and how some student watching this can become a research assistant for a college abroad under a renowned professor?
Okay. Thank you so much, firstly. I think cold emailing as a method has changed my life, period. It has gotten me so many opportunities. It has gotten me so much, and it's worth the effort. Let me first say that a lot of students just feel that it's too much, writing cold emails, emailing people, then not getting a response. It's tough, of course it's strenuous, but it's worth the effort. So first things that, now my journey, um so it all started while I when I started creating content on LinkedIn. And I didn't create content on LinkedIn by thinking that I'm creating content on LinkedIn. I just started writing stuff that I was passionate about. And it was through LinkedIn that I got to know that you can in fact be in India, but work with a professor at in the United States or somewhere in the UK remotely while doing your degree. So that's where I learned about the entire process of research assistantships, or a lab manager job, or a research position abroad. So that's how I started. Then I started researching about the research related positions, and my process was quite simple. It was to read what they're doing, read their research papers, actually be interested and ask questions. And then I used to write them cold emails. I think I wrote around 89 cold emails before I got into 7 labs. And then I finally chose to work with a professor at Penn State. And my lab was called Culture, Health, and Emotions Lab. And what else? I think the entire process is extremely unpredictable. But what would help you, and what has helped in my own mentorship process, is structure it. in the first, like divide it into 4 weeks. In the first week, think about what are your research interests. Let's say my research interests are maternal health, gender discrimination, how do emotions affect our body, and all of that. Make a list of your research interests. Then make a list of labs, make a list of universities that are offering research positions remotely. A lot of the times, what happens is there are certain particular fields of area that are more likely to give you research positions remote research positions as compared to other. Like for instance, a biopsychology or a cognitive psychology or a neuroscience lab may require you to be in person so that you can access those devices and those equipments, right? But a social psychology or an organizational psychology lab, or even like I don't have non-psychology examples, sorry, but the point is that you need to pick and choose your research areas very strategically, and then read about the professor's area of interest, read about their work, genuinely ask questions, and build a conversation before you ask them that you want to work with them. Yeah, I think you can ask me follow-ups. I don't know what else to say.
So if you have like a tip for people cold emailing, what is your cold emailing tip? If you have one for us, just one tip.
One tip. I think it's ask questions, and I'll tell you why. If I tell Damna, am I pronouncing her name correctly, firstly? Damna? Okay. If I tell her that her classes are beautiful, she'll just say thank you. But if I ask her, where did you buy them from? Then we'll have a conversation, right? So if you email someone just saying that I want to work with you, or I want a position, I want to volunteer, I want to like assist you in your literature review or whatever, then they'll just look at it or ignore it. But if I ask them questions about their paper, which they have written with blood and sweat, then there's a high likelihood that they'll respond. So yeah, that's my one tip.
Okay, great. And also, how much was this? I have two questions, and then we can move on to the next topic. One is, how much were you paid? Were you paid for this? And second, can undergrads, can someone that's in high school also access this opportunity, or would you say it's more ideal to do it when you're in college?
Hmm. Okay. So initially I wasn't, but later I was. And to answer the second question, I think that a first year student is has a better likelihood to actually understand the role of a research assistant, because they get to know, they have papers on basics of, let's say, introduction to statistics or introduction to qualitative and quantitative research. So that's more apt when I talk about the general population. But if you think that you can, don't doubt yourself, because YouTube is amazing. You can read, you can research, you can gain any skill you want in the world for free. So if you actually think that you have that skill set, don't let high school, college, these social institutions stop you.
Absolutely. And along with YouTube videos, we have mentors on Project Lay like Amisha
Yeah,
that can help
yes,
you through this whole
exactly.
process. So yeah, then
Also,
yeah.
I had like another question for you. Uh, so can you tell us more about your process for getting into LSE? Because personally, man, that's a goal for me as well, getting into LSE. So like, how do you do that? Like, how do you get into LSE? And उसके साथ J and Tata College. I mean, just tell us about your LSE path as well, please.
Okay. So I was extremely confused when I started, and I knew that financially I don't want to spend 1 to 2 lakhs, or I mean you know how much consultants cost, right? So I knew that if I have to do it, I have to do it on my all by myself. So, and the good thing is I love researching so much that no matter if it's a job or a research position or it's LSC, I am more than happy to do the work myself. The process was quite tricky in the beginning, but the first thing that you need to get right is your SOP. So I'd say contact alumni, That's also something Project Clay does. I think you connect people with alumni, right? So contact alumni, talk to them. What is their experience like? How did they write their application? What do they think worked for their application? No, actually, sorry. The first thing that you need to crack is an LOR, because if you are studying at due, I think that's the trickiest part, to convince your professors to write an LOR for you, and also to know, to check and recheck that that LOR is suitable for an application in the UK, because sometimes your professors will write LORs with a lot of love, a lot of adoration and all of that, but it may not align with what the UK is asking. Like for instance, United States may appreciate, applications in the United States may appreciate more creativity, whereas UK may look for slightly more structure. So you need to know a couple of things like that. So yeah, get your LORs, then your SOP. Make sure in your SOP you cover your past, present, and future. In the past, how have your experiences, academic and non-academic, motivated you to pursue this master's? Can you give me like an example so that I can sort of help you in a,
All
like,
right,
give me
I'll
an
name
example
my
of like
future.
what degree? Yeah.
All right, I came from school. I did commerce. I'm doing eco-fin right now, and I want to go into masters in finance. Please shape that.
Okay. So you studied economics, and you want to do masters in finance, right? So how, so you start with a personal anecdote. Let's say something happened back in home, or you observed your family business or whatever, and you realize that economics is the thing for you. Then you had certain experiences in an undergrad degree, you joined a couple of societies, let's say you learned about fintech and other stuff, and now drawing from all these experiences, so connecting past, present, I want to do masters in finance. These are my career goals. These are my short-term goals. These are my mid-term goals. These are my long-term goals. This is how exactly this particular program at the LSE will help me. So you'd research professors at the LSE. You'll research what are the research facilities there. You'll research how is the alumni body, how is the environment, and make sure you are as specific as possible in your application. So this is like the greatest mistake people make. They write vague stuff that nobody cares about. You need to be specific, you need to be authentic, and you need to be to the point. I mean, I understand that people want to write everything they want, but less is more, and it's important to be specific. Yeah. So yeah, get your CV and your SOP right, and then you just apply and you wait for your results. Once you get your conditional offer, then you apply for multiple scholarships. Some scholarships also work before you get a conditional offer, so you also need to be mindful of that. I can give you a list of scholarships if you want. There's JN Tata, there's Chevening Scholarship, Narottam Siksaria Scholarship, INLAC Scholarship, Commonwealth Scholarship. All of these are relevant to the UK, but INLACs is also relevant to the United States and other countries. Other than that, the Rhodes Scholarship, if you want to apply to Oxford, then okay, I can't remember more, but these are good names to start with.
Yeah, this is great. And we'll put a list of these scholarships down in the description. As you said, we completely understand the consultant bit. All of us struggle with that. That's why, yeah, we build Project Clay so you can talk to alumni like Amisha and get real world insights on how you can do it. These are great tips. And I think I struggled with this while adding Common App as well. मुझे सब कुछ लिखना था जो भी जिंदगी में किया सब कुछ डालना था, but
Yeah.
that's not how to do it.
And
Um,
also, it should always link. So paragraph 1 should be linked with paragraph 2 and 3 and 4. There should be a central theme to your SOP. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि in the first paragraph you're talking, हो सकता है but ऐसा मत करना कि in the first few paragraphs you're talking about economics and this and that, in the last paragraphs you're talking about your interest in cyber security, which is not at all linked with your interest in economics
right.
and microeconomics, let's say. Yeah.
Well, no, these are great tips. Boss, thank you so much for your time. I think me and Shaurya learned so much. Shaurya got a free consult from you for his masters as well. So, anyone on
Ab-
what looking to apply for masters, to reach out. We have the best in town on as a mentor on Project Clay.